I think there are multiple ways from which you can, be writing, creating. For me, the longest time, the post has been, my creativity has been about, or my posts on whatever Instagram, etc., have been about showing off. I think to some level that I thought this, no one else can think this. Look how cool I am, and um, all that kind of stuff. And but today I don't have that feeling. Today I just want to talk because I think that I know a little bit about this subject, mm, if not a lot, because at some level I am, and I'm sure most of us are troubled. My brain does not allow me to think about people and think that they are troubled, or there are some people in my mind, for example. I have been massively, I think, over the years, people have left a very lasting impression on my mind, in a different way, not in a good way. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, I remember this, etc. But I've just kind of made myself feel smaller, smaller, and smaller by seeing people and thinking he can do this, he can do that, etc. And I've, just constantly gone into that well of or pit of feeling bad about myself or feeling not great about myself. Yeah. And so yeah, I think so. That's there. That's one big tangent or one big dimension of my mental health. Or but I kind of believe that those are more symptoms. Um, Yesterday, there is this girl in our office who I kind of, when I see girls, I think I have a problem. I I desperately want them. I think I have a deep, deep desire for the female body. Um, or because in my head, I've never, but I don't know if it is just about the female body or if it is also the egoistic pleasure of I'm sure if it's not an or condition, I definitely like the female body a lot. The breasts and all those things. They're like just too good. And at the same time, I think so. Yeah, when I see a fucking female, and you know, like inside me, I think I'm like a dog who's like, like you're constantly just like, I want to see more of this woman. I want to see more of this girl. I want to see everything. I want to see how, her body is. I want to see how big her breasts are, and all those kind of things come into your mind. And then, but then at the same time, I'm very afraid that this, uh, I'm very afraid that if someone sees this side of me, this kind of um, this desire or this thing that is inside me, right? Of how much I want to see more of her, how much I desire her, how much I just want to be just, it's like that. The feeling is that I want to completely just have her, like, you want to just like completely, I want to wrap that sensation of beauty in me is so intoxicating, I think, at some level. right? That you just go mad. I just kind of like I want to leave everything, and it's so intoxicating. I'm like, I just want more of this, right? That just that feeling comes, and right now I'm talking about it, but in that situation, I think it becomes so difficult to avoid. You are so self-conscious, you are so afraid of these things coming out, you are so afraid of she seeing this, or people seeing this in you, of and uh, so yeah, and then whatever. Then you are like constant, but then it's not because the sensation has been so deep, or the feeling has been so deep. There's no way that I'm gonna have it just one time. I want to have more of it. I want to keep seeing her. I want to repeat, repeat, repeat. You want to keep getting that pleasure out of what pleasure you received from seeing her for the first time, and you want to imagine more stuff, and that face becomes an obsession almost for me, and then the performance starts. Then you are constantly thinking, because you're so obsessed, you're constantly thinking about her, you're constantly also maybe now you know I become very self-conscious around her, and then I'm like, when whatever I'm doing, I'm just like constantly feeling that she's watching me, or what will she be thinking of me, or how will she be perceiving me, and all of that kind of stuff. And then there is this other guy in office who comes and just takes her, who just comes and I believe, I think what I hate him. I want to like kill him to that extent. I want to I'm so fucking angry at he having taken something from me, was which was mine, and I don't do anything about these feelings. But then whenever I'm with him and a hot girl passes by, there is this feeling that he's going to attack. He's going to take her, and he's going to get it, or something like that, right? And also the humiliation comes into me, that how do you face him after this defeat, like you have to bow your head in front of him, and or something like that, right? And so I don't know, as in, maybe that's it, like there's nothing else. But sometimes I felt that I'm just angry at everyone for something. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I feel it is maybe attention, because I see a huge part of me sometimes screaming for, or sometimes feeling that no one saw me, um, or no one sees me, મને કોઈ જોતું નથી, હું કોઈને ગમતો નથી, and I'm like, just the entire time I'm just performing that fucking someone look at me, man. Someone look at me. See me. Acknowledge me. Tell me I'm great. And I think it is that thing which has maybe over time. I don't know if that is what has converted into anger, or aggression, or against the world, against everything. There is this need to dominate, to kind of fucking, you know, like kill everyone who comes, um, physically, like kill everyone who's trying to fucking, everything is taken personally. Every action is taken as action that is going against you, that is being done to put you down, that is, you know, that is to challenge your authority. Um, and I don't know if it is to avoid this sinking, or avoid this feeling of deep shame, or deep, uh, you know, uh, deep feeling of insufficiency that you're trying to hide through this, because there are only two options. One is you feel insufficient and you feel bad, or you just go out there and ensure, and kind of, feel that it's them who are making you feel insufficient. It's them who are kind of, constantly triggering you, and it's them who are the ones who you need to kind of just go and kill, and dominate, and fucking grind them, so that you don't ever feel bad about yourself.
This call is being recorded. हेलो।
हेलो।
हाँ, दर्पण जी से बात हो रही है।
हाँ।
दर्पण जी, मैं रणवीर सिंह बात कर रहा हूँ, आचार्य प्रसाद जी संस्था से।
सर मैं अभी ऑफिस में हूँ,
देखिए
अभी बात नहीं कर पाऊंगा।
देखिए, बार-बार कॉल्स आ रहे हैं, बस इतना कह रहा था कि एनरोलमेंट कर पाएंगे या नहीं आप?
नहीं सर।
इस बार नहीं कर पाएंगे?
नहीं।
अच्छा अच्छा, कोई वजह इसके पीछे?
सर मैं बोल रहा था कि मैं बात कर सकता हूँ, बट अभी नहीं कर पाऊंगा।
चलिए ठीक है, कल रात को बात कर सकते हैं।
हाँ।
ठीक है, ओके, प्रणाम।
Yeah. So Nick, no one ever acknowledged me यार, ऐसा लगता है no one ever, कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि यार मैं शायद ना खराब हो नहीं जाए चाहिए, जब मैं मानता हूँ कि मैं खराब हूँ, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली जब तुमको ऐसा लग रहा है कि मुझे नहीं पता कौन सा पहले आता है, मैं सोचता हूँ इन चीज़ों के बारे में कि what causes what, और and maybe that is, I think, a mistake that in my thinking कि शायद कि there is a cause and effect which is very straightforward in these things, कि अच्छा देखा नहीं, इसीलिए पेन हुआ, इसीलिए एग्रेशन आ गया, एक्सेट्रा। बट फिर एक दूसरी लाइन चल जाती है कि यार ये देखा नहीं, बट फिर साथ साथ कभी उसको उस बिलीफ में भी कन्वर्ट कर लिया, शेम में कन्वर्ट कर लिया कि मैं खराब हूँ, अम, હું નથી સારો, અને एंड देन यू आर लाइक कि ये कैसे, so ये, so there is this one axis which says कि मेरे को नहीं देखा, अब मैं गुस्सा हूँ, और मेरे में कुछ इनसफिशिएंसी है शायद। नहीं, या आई डोंट नो कि आई थिंक मैंने तो हमेशा ही आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड को एक एक्सपेक्टेंसी से देखा है टू वैलिडेट मी, और टू एक्नॉलेज मी। जो शायद तुम देखते हो स्टार्टिंग में वैसे ही होता होगा, ऑब्वियसली तुम अब छोटे बच्चे हो तब दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट मे बी, बट शायद मेरा वो चेंज नहीं हुआ। शायद मैं, बस मेरे वो तरीके चेंज हो गए। जो पहले वो उसको करने का तरीका कुछ था, फिर बड़े हुए तो उसको तरीका फिट हो गया कि यू नो आई काइंड ऑफ मे बी developed a very sharp intellect to be able to make friends with anyone I wanted. You know, I could talk to anyone I wanted and whatever. Then, so yeah, I think, and now is the time when those things don't work, to be honest. Like, you know, the wit is not working. The people are like, yeah, क्योंकि अब दूसरे पे ना लग गए ना। उस टाइम तक क्या था कि लोगों की लोगों का ब्रिलियंस या लोगों की अच्छाई अच्छाई नहीं, लोगों की कैपेबिलिटीज इतनी सामने नहीं थी। मैं पढ़ाई में ठीक था, आईआईटी में भी मैं हो गया, कॉलेज में भी मैंने डिसेंट कर लिया, तो मैं शायद खुश था। बट उसके बाद यू नो आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड में जब ये नौकरी वाली चीज़ आई, जब लाइफ वाली चीज़ आई, जब शायद रियल डील चालू हुई कि क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, एक्सेट्रा, एंड जब उसमें मैं पीछे पड़ा क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली हाँ, एक बहुत ही डिटर्मिनिस्टिक लाइफ से एक बहुत ही इनडिटर्मिनिस्टिक टारगेट हो गया। एंड आई डोंट इवन नो वेयर आई एम गोइंग विद दिस एनीमोर, सो sorry for that. I don't think I'm ever going to. I am not ever going to release any of this because of the part of the women. क्योंकि I think, but that's my शायद biggest wound or pain, or that's the part I believe can, you know, gives me that external self worth that I look for। कि यार अगर लड़कियां मेरे को देख रही हैं इस शक्ल को, और मैं उनको इम्प्रेस कर पा रहा हूँ, वो मुझे अपना तन, बदन, मन नहीं चाहिए मेरे को, देना चाहती हैं। तो मैं ठीक हूँ, वरना मैं फिर से गुस्सा हूँ कि मेरे को नहीं दिया, मेरे को नहीं मिला। इज एंगर पेन, of some nature. Is aggression pain of some nature? I've told myself that people don't owe me anything. Life does not owe you anything. But it does not work most of the times. क्यों नहीं देखा? I'm very afraid of Kafka. Or becoming Kafka, because he was an avoidant. He died feeling bad about himself. He and to me the possibility of not having figured this out, of not having figured out these distortions, of not having been able to process this at any level and still thinking about these things. Maybe internally also I'm taking the same approach as externally, sometimes trying very hard. Um, but yeah, I'm afraid of meeting the fate of Kafka. The fate of dying without seeing the light. And again, it's the same thing. Light is not owed to me. I have to reconcile with the possibility that it might not happen. You know, this fucking, it's amazing that ego is not just a word and a concept, it's almost a verb for something. This egoistic mm, tendency of mine to say यार कि नहीं होगा, मैं फिगर कर लूंगा, मैं मरना नहीं चाहता यार ये फिगर आउट किए बिना. Those are all control I think I have. जैसे मेंशन मेरे बाप का है. Kafka did not have the courage to post things while he was alive. And maybe he was right to not. मेरे को ऐसा लगता है. Maybe he also had a fear of failure. Maybe he also knew that poetry, it is what it is. ये वाली जो पूरी स्ट्रीम ऑफ पोएट्री होती है, नहीं हो पाया, मैं नहीं सोच पाया, मैं यही सोचते रहा, जिसमें तुम सिंपैथी मांग रहे हो एट सम लेवल फ्रॉम पीपल. Kafka didn't figure it out, yeah. Kafka died wanting his friend to destroy his work and all that. तो उसने फ्रेंड ने पब्लिश कर दिया एंड मेरे को लगता है कि सही किया उसने नहीं पब्लिश करके. मेरे को कावर्डाइज से बहुत डर लगता है यार. फियर ऑफ फेलियर बहुत ज़्यादा है. शायद वही है कावर्डाइज कि फेल नहीं होना है. करो तुम पहले पेल ही दो. प्रोसेस नहीं करना है, सीधा रिजल्ट चाहिए पहले दिन पे बेस्ट. एंड इट्स क्रेजी. But हाँ, to conclude, I don't know if कहाँ से आए, कौन पहले आया, चिकन एंड एग है कि नहीं है इसमें, या सही में there is a linearity to these things जो बहुत बार जेरी पिंटो ढूंढता रहता है. I think his entire book Big Boom is a cause and effect book where he's constantly trying to figure out the cause of his mother's illness, thereby wanting यार अगर मुझे समझ आ जाए कि कहाँ से हुआ कि ये मोमेंट पे ये ट्रैक की वजह से ऐसे होता है तो पता नहीं तुम क्या कर लोगे। थ्योरी बना लोगे अच्छी, चल उस थ्योरी को फिर तुम रट लोगे कि मेरी लाइफ में ये हुआ, तो तुम्हें अच्छा लगेगा क्या मुझे पता है मेरी लाइफ में क्या हुआ। मैं कॉजेशन ढूंढता रहता हूँ यार कि क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ, कौन सी चीज़ कहाँ से आई। क्या होता था आउटकम्स डिफरेंट होते, क्या होते, जीना तो पड़ता ही। कभी कभी मेरे को लगता है कि मैं इतना ज़्यादा थक गया हूँ या डर गया हूँ या मैं डरता ही हूँ ओवरऑल कि यू वांट डेथ, not of the way where you are dead, but you want death with respect to experiences. You don't want new experiences. You are like भाई अब यही चलता रहे यार अब। अच्छे आउटकम्स पता नहीं चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए, बस अब खराब आउटकम और नहीं ले सकता ऐसा लगता है। सारे आउटकम ही लगता है मेरा कोई आउटकम ही ना हो, ये फाइनल आउटकम हो जाए और अब कुछ हो ही नहीं। You know, it's almost like I don't want to be dead but alive, कि सब फ्लैट हो जाए, फ्लैट